The gel method. What is the gel method? Why would you use it? And how do you do it? Hello, my name's Hayley. Welcome to the channel. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the gel method with dip powder. So, what is it? When you do your dip powder nails, you obviously have your dipping powder and you have your dipping liquids. You have your, let's get them in the right order, base coat, activator and top coat. So in the simplest of explanations, instead of using your dip liquids, we're swapping those out for gel liquids, a base coat and a top coat. And of course, because you're using gel liquids, you're also going to need a UV lamp. So that's the what. How about the why? Why would you use gel liquids over the dipping liquids? And when I first got into all this and I started hearing people talking about the gel method, I just didn't get it. Why would you use half of one system and half of another? It made no sense to me, so I started asking questions. And one of the first things I thought was, some people turn to dipping because they have a gel allergy. Is this not the main reason people would dip? And then as I've used gel liquids, dip powder, gel paint, it all starts to make a little bit more sense. So if you've had acrylic nails done at the salon, you know they are hard. And when you use dipping powder with dipping liquids, you know they are hard because it's all acrylic. It's slightly different, but it's basically the same. Gel, on the other hand, is not as strong, but it is more flexible. So if you just put gel paint, like the ones that I've got there, on your nails with a top coat and a base coat, or a base coat and a top coat, you know you can get lovely looking nails, but it isn't as strong as with acrylic. Now, I'm not going to get into all the hybrid systems of polygel and builder gel and the different products that people have come up with to try and bridge this difference between gel and acrylic. But people combine systems and come out with different products to problem solve. So what are the problems with using dip liquids? The biggest problem with dip liquids is the fact that they're air dry. So you're on a timer. And if you're trying to do certain effects or create something a little bit more fancy than a plain dip, you might need a little bit extra time to do that. So step in the gel liquids, because gel liquids do not have a timer. You can take as long as you want perfecting whatever design you want, because this is only going to set when you put it in your lamp. So if you're not allergic to gel, why would you even bother with the dip system at all? Well, using the acrylic dipping powder is still stronger than using just gel liquids. So when you're combining the gel liquids and the acrylic powder, you're getting the ease of the gel system because there's no timer, but you're still getting a slightly stronger manicure using the acrylic powder than if you used gel paint. Some people swear by this system. I've tried both, depending on my mood. I can sway one way or the other. Is doing the gel system quicker? It depends. For me right now, I don't think it is, because I've been using dip liquids for so long. I've got my system down. I know what I'm doing. I know how to get neat cuticle lines. I made a short on that actually. I'll pop here. And if I'm being honest, I prefer the extra strength that using dip liquids provides. And you'll notice when you do the gel method, your nails don't sound the same. It's a duller clack, if that makes sense. Another reason you might prefer this method is some people feel they can apply it more thinly, which gives them a neater finish and they can achieve it quicker because there's a lot less filing involved. it can be easier to create a nice shape for your nails, because once you've put a layer of gel on, hold your hand upside down for a few moments. Because gel is self-leveling, it's literally spreading out using gravity to create more of an apex on your nails. And some people will definitely find this method quicker. But everything is about personal choice, and what works for you right now might not work for you in the future. And it's just another option, another tool in your kit, another weapon in your arsenal of a way to do your nails. And if you've got an idea in your head of something you want to create and you can't figure out how to do it just with dip powder, you can combine dip powder and gel. So we might consider this the first half of a video about using the gel method, and I'm then going to make a video about combining gel and dip in different ways for different effects, and how you can layer the products and some little tips to make sure that that works out okay for you. But right now, this is the gel method. We've done the what, we've done the why, so let's move on to the how. So you set yourself up in exactly the same way as you would for using dip liquids. Do your prep as per usual. Now I'm going to go in with a couple of layers of clear first, and then I'm going to use these colours from Glowdip. We have chocolate mousse, which just inspires me to eat, and soft lilac, is that what we call it? Soft lilac, yeah. So we're going to have a go with these today. And this is the base coat and top coat that I'm using. Very inexpensive. I do quite like this brand actually, which I won't pronounce correct, so I'm not even sure it's worth bothering. Zai? No, I don't know. They're a Chinese brand, it's very good. And if you are going to do the gel method, I would keep some gel liquids that you only use with dipping powder, because the probability of contaminating these with powder, and then if you wanted to use them with normal gel, you're just going to end up with bits in it. So as with glitter, try and have separate liquids for all occasions. So I would like to ask actually, are there any videos you would like me to make? Are there any questions that you have? Any particular things you would like to see? You know, put it in the comments. Even if it sounds a bit silly, it doesn't matter, we've all been there. Drop it in the comments or join our Discord. There'll be a link in the description box. So we're going to use our base coat and our clear. And just the same as when I'm using my dip liquids base coat, you don't need too much. And if anything, I want to say scrub in the base coat. So just as I would with my dip liquids, start a little bit back and then sort of push it, go around nicely. And you can leave it at one nail, you could do the whole hand. But just for this moment, I'm going to leave it at one just to show you. And you've got your dipping powder. You can go straight in with the colour if you want. Now you can dip straight into your pot, you can pour over. I've never had any contamination issues with getting gel liquids in the powder. I did see on, I think it was a Marla Chris video, she said she prefers pouring on to make sure that she doesn't push the gel so it makes contact with the skin. But because I am very lenient with the, lenient? That's not the right word, is it? I'm very stingy with the amount of base coat I put on my nails. There's not really enough for it to be moved around, if that makes sense. So I'm quite happy going straight in. And it's just a normal dip into the powder, tap off. And then I always go in with my favourite tool ever, the orange stick, to clean up the cuticle line. Now you can see I'm not rushing. I'm taking my time because this isn't going to dry. This is still wet, I haven't set it, I haven't done anything with it. I can pop you know, my hand in the lamp, it will just cure that one finger, or I can now go on and do the rest, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I've got gel liquid and all these fingers. I can now just go in and dip them one at a time. And then the whole hand in the lamp, 60 seconds. So that is now cured, which is basically what your activator does when you're using dip liquids. So instead of an activator, you've got a UV lamp, but we do definitely need to brush off in between layers. So I'll do another layer of clear and then I'll come back to you with the colours. I've just realised I've only had one light on this entire video, so I hope the quality is not too awful. I have put the other light on now. So I just wanted to show you, I've only actually done 2 layers of colour, and I've just gone in with a buffing block all the way around, just neatening in, just a little bit of perfecting. You all know what I'm like by now. And I'm going to take a lint-free wipe with alcohol on, just to get rid of any extra dust. Because these are almost like mid-mani touch-ups. You can sort of check for perfection as you go along, and you can decide, do you want to have another layer of colour? Do you need it? I think this would work really well with the Apex method, which honestly is something that I've struggled with dip liquids, because I'm always aiming for the perfect shape. The Apex method, obviously around the edges, there's a lot less dip powder, and I go in filing it off and get annoyed and have to start again. But this is something that you can do as you go along. So looking right now, I can see a couple of things that I'm not massively happy about, want to get a bit more colour there. So I am going to go in with another layer and make sure I catch these little bits. And this is probably why this method isn't quicker for me, because I'm still fussy. Now, if you do make a mistake, if you feel like you've put it on a little bit too thickly, or there's something that you are just not happy about, lint-free wipe, alcohol, wipe it off. You see? That all comes off into your lint-free wipe. And the layers that you've done underneath, because they're already cured, they're not going anywhere. And then you can start again. Or if you have just gone in the lamp and you're in between layers, just take a buffing block and sort out little problems as you see them happen. It is a really versatile method, and the more I'm doing it, because I haven't done it in a while, I'm actually like, why am I not doing this? Why? Okay, so we've finished dipping. I've gone over lightly with a buffing block because there wasn't much to take off, and it's easier to file anyway because gel's softer. I've given everything a good rub round with a baby wipe. You can really get your finger in there to get rid of any little bits of dust or powder that's collected. A nice wipe over with a lint-free wipe and some alcohol. And so we are on to the top coat. Now, the next thing I want to mention is gel liquid matte top coats are a lot easier to get a hold of than dip powder matte top coats. Now this is a Sisterco one that I got in my Sisterco set. We've talked about Sisterco aplenty. It's just a gel liquid. I have had the matte top coat from Sassy Saints. It's not matte, it's like a satin. It's not very good. I've had the matte top coat from Glowdip, which is good, but I found contaminated quite easily. Glowdip have a matte top coat, which I didn't know about, and I only found out the other day, and I've just put in an order with them, and I ordered 2 bottles. So I do have another matte top coat dip liquid on the way, but I'm going to do them in matte, I'm going to do them in gloss, and I'll take some pictures, and then we can talk about the finished product, because it is not the same as using your dip liquids. And we're done. 2 layers of top coat. So I've done matte top coat on these 3 nails and glossy on these 2, just for a bit of comparison. And just, I have been warned about doing matte top coat. You need to make sure that your filing game is on point and make them as neat as humanly possible and buff, buff, buff. And there are, it's not perfect, some marks that I would prefer not be there. The pink has come out better, but we'll look at the gloss anyway. And you do get a really, really lovely glossy top coat with gel, even when you've managed to catch a bit of dust in it like I have. Oh, ever the perfectionist. I'd have to get rid of that and do it again. But there is a really good video I watched recently about top coats, because this is a no wipe gel top coat that I've used. The matte ones are no wipe as well. I'll see if I can put a link to it, but there's a video by Mini Amy, I think is how you pronounce it, and she makes press-ons, and she did this whole video about all the different clear gel liquids and solid gels that she uses and why she uses them. And the no wipe top coats tend to yellow more, so if you're wanting something that's long lasting and super glossy, the top coats that you have to wipe, that inhibition layer, I believe it's called, the ones that you have to wipe after you've cured them, actually stay clearer and glossy for longer. But I'll put a link to that video. Her channel's really good, by the way, anyway, so go watch that. But yeah, so this is the finished Gel Liquids Mani, and I'm going to put my hand next to my mic so you can hear this. So that was the matte and then the gloss. It sounds exactly the same. If you use dip liquids, you know how your nails sound when you've got that on, and this is duller. It still feels lovely and strong, but it is duller because it's not as strong as dip liquids, but it's also not as brittle. So you do get a little bit more flexibility. You know, swings and roundabouts. Different things appeal to different people and different reasons why you would use one method over another. As for removal, you use exactly the same methods as you would with dip liquids. I have found removing gel to be a little bit harder with acetone, to be honest, but it's been a while since I've done it, so I'm not going to say it's harder until I've had another go at it, but previously I have found it harder. If you're somebody that files off down to the clear layers, this is easier to get off because it's softer. But I am going to do a video where I compare all the removal methods, so I will go more into that anyway. So let me know what you think. Have you got any questions? What are you trying to get out of your manicure? What are your goals? If you've enjoyed this, please press like and subscribe. YouTube loves it. Pushes my content to more people. The bigger my channel gets, the more I can do, the more time I can spend on this stuff. Thank you so much for watching. As always, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!